Hi there, I'm Martha Van Dam and this is Living Beyond. So today I'm doing a few more videos about a live broadcast I was a part of just a few minutes ago with Manoj Krishna and his app that's called the Human Wisdom Project. And we're speaking about kindness today, continuing to talk about kindness. And so a thought I want to throw out with you today is that kindness is actually about you. It's about me. It's about what we do. And one of the things we might find ourselves tempted to do is to almost measure the idea of, okay, I've been kind to this person 1, 2, 3, 7, 10 times, and I've got nothing back. We might look toward what we receive out of kindness as opposed to just the idea of, and I mean by receiving out of kindness, I mean we might look at what we receive from the other person as though it's a transactional thing. I be kind to you 3 times for me, to you, and you are like behind. And that attitude tells us that our kindness is more of a method to get something than it is a method to be the person you want to be in the world and simply add goodness into the world. Yes, it is true that very often, not always, but very often, the people we are the kindest to will in some ways give kindness back to us. And it is also true that as we give kindness to others, we very often get a huge reward simply within ourselves, simply the sense of I feel good about myself, because I know that I'm doing something that is contributing to the goodness of the world. But what about that time when there's someone that for some reason you are reaching out, you're trying to be kind, and it simply doesn't seem to be making any difference from your perspective? They're not reaching back out, they're not saying thank you, they're not seeming anymore to want to grow that relationship that you're having. What about that case? Well, in that case, what I'm going to ask you is, what is your purpose? Are you being kind to get something back? Or is it possible to be able to do kind things, be kind, simply because you want to be kind to that person and allow the chips to fall where they may? Allow that person to work through whatever they've got to work through. I know that there is a person, actually there have been a couple people in my life that I loved dearly, deeply, but for myriad of reasons, they pulled back and they didn't really want to be a part of my life. And it stung it the whole time. It still stings. And I came upon the decision that I wanted to continually be a person who was open, so that if the time came that they were open to restoration of the relationship, they would have an understanding and a sense that I was open. What they do with it is their business. And I'll admit, sometimes as I reached out with a pleasant text or a note, sometimes there were pieces of me that just hoped they'd respond just a little bit, and they didn't. And with time, I began to be able to allow myself to let it really sink in that this is not to try to manipulate a person. I've got to be sure that that's not what's happening. And if I have some latent hope that there's going to be a response, then there may be a little bit of hope that I'm affecting this. I'm going to affect how this person is responding. And that's just not my job. It's not your job. And we've got to be careful about that. Giving does not feel like giving to the receiver if it comes with a price, if it comes with an expectation. So what I am learning from and I'm still not seeing response from the person that I am reaching out to with kindness, but I also have reached a point where I'm saying, absolutely, would I like that relationship to be restored? 1,000%, yes, I want that relationship to be restored. But I can't force it, and I'm not even in any way kind of pushing it. It's like I've taken that hope and haven't tossed it completely aside, but I put it over on the shelf, and I'm not using that as a motivation. What I'm using as a motivation is I want to, the part that's about me, I want to know at the end of the day that I have left the door open and I am being kind. And how the other person receives that, I really can't control that. I really can't even affect it a whole lot the more distance there is in a relationship. So my point in this, our point in this, is to look at the kindnesses that we are doing and to remind ourselves that our goal is not to receive something back from the other person. What we receive back during our times of kindness is the internal satisfaction that this is who I want to be in the world. I want to be a kind person. I want to be a person that when I'm thought of by others, they smile and they feel safe. They don't feel judged, questioned, put down, like you have to submit to their standard in order to be acceptable. I don't want anybody feeling that about me. I really don't. And I hope I'm creating an environment that if they are having those feelings, it may be because of some other triggers of their own that they're having to deal with. So, point being, when we give our kindnesses, then we want to give our kindness with no expectation from the other person, only an expectation of I will feel satisfied in my action. I will be proud of myself. And even that sense of, I like how I'm doing this, I'm proud of myself, even that can then spur us on to more kindnesses, either to that person or to other kindnesses. And it also frees us from that pressure inside, the internal pressure inside that we get that comes from hoping, watching, let me check that phone again, see if I've heard anything. That's a lot of pressure. So if we can send off the note, throw it in the mail, throw it out a text, toss a gift, say something kind about someone, mention them in a kind way, a proud way on social media, whatever are the things, and then close the phone, walk away, and say to ourselves, that moment was the gift. And that moment was the gift, and not what may or may not come after it. From that moment, I put it down. We put it down. So that's our point. As you are kind, as you are reaching out, as you are being intentional, you want to check your motivation. Be sure that your motivation is just about, I'm wanting to be kind and add kindness into the world, and I want this person to feel some kind of encouragement, some kind of kindness. I want them to feel good, even if it's just for a moment. I want them to have a good feeling about life. And my friend, when we are able to do that and walk away from it, we are 1,000% successful. So, okay, hope that that has been inspirational to you. If you want to hear the rest of the conversation with Manoj and I and the participants who were a part of this live video, then please check on the link that I will put in with this video. And I just hope that you're having the most wonderful day. And if you're not, if you're finding that you're having a difficult time today, if life is being difficult for you, then may I suggest you find someone somewhere that you can just be a little kind to, and see if that helps you to feel a little bit better about your day. Okay, thanks so much. I sure do enjoy talking to you, talking with you, and I'd love if you'd send a comment, a message, a DM, and connect with me about this kindness thing. You know what? You and I together can strike little matches of goodness and kindness in the world. And I will tell you, there is no way to know how far those strikes of kindness go. We really can change the world one little bit of kindness at a time. Thanks. Bye-bye.